Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Okay. So we have this first revision session today for end term exam. Okay, so now I hope you have gave the OPP exam. I hope you cleared. So now the syllabus for the end term exam is from week 3 to till weekend, like week 11. Okay, so there is no content in week 12. So week 11. So this is the complete syllabus we have for the end term. Okay, and now this week we are conducting this three revision session. So we have split the weeks for the revision. So today we have the plan to revise the week 3 to week 6, and the remaining weeks we will cover in the Friday Saturday session. Okay, and we have also released this mock for end term. I hope you know, so that you can also see in your course page. So that we have released. Can, and the deadline for that mock of enter is Saturday, so Saturday night. So just finish this before the deadline, and we will also cover all these mock question in our revision session as well. Okay, and if you have any doubt during the your revision, so we will suggest that to join this session. Before joining this session, revise all the content till that week and clear your doubts. Okay, so let's start with the first revision session from week 3 to week 6 we have today. Before starting, if anyone have any query regarding anything, anyone?
Sir, how long is the final exam?
Duration?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is 1.5 hour exam.
Okay. Is it
Okay,
like
and
for every?
sorry?
Is it for every course?
For every course.
Okay.
Okay, and the total questions will be around 24, 25 question this time in this exam. Okay, last time I think in quiz maybe 16 or 18 questions was there, but this time around 24 to 25 questions. And that will be distributed among all the weeks. So maybe approx equal weightage from all weeks.
So will the difficulty be the same as the quiz one, or will it be a little bit higher?
High, no, no, not bit higher. It is the same as your quiz one and your graded assignment, theory assignments.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
not too much difficult. So if you have solved all your graded assignment by your own, definitely you can easily do. And this mock we have also released now, so you can also see the mock questions of how much difficulty you are feeling in that questions. So same type of questions will be there. Okay, so let me share my screen. So we will cover mock question, also those who are coming from the week 3 to week 6, and that first 2 weeks actually those who are theoretical about the computer or computations. So that is not actually will come in this. Okay, but yeah, some basic knowledge is required like this binary representation. All these things are required. Okay, so mainly syllabus is from week 3 to week 11. Okay, so week 3. Let's quickly, because we have already covered these things in many time in live session as well as the revision of quiz one. So I'll quickly recap. Okay, so this is the main. The week 3 is the main programming which is started. So basic syntax and operator variables. So what are the important things is here? uh, so like this that variables in C, so what are the ruling of the variable naming? Okay, so how we generally define the name of the variables and what are the rule for that, so that is the important things. Data type is also important. Operator, okay, so in operator there are many questions where the precedence of the operator and that pre-increment post-increment type of operator which is generally used in any code. Okay, so that's a very important to understand that what is the meaning of pre-increment and post-increment operator. Okay, so that we will discuss today also. and that inside the operator, that one bitwise operator is there, also there, bitwise operator. So I don't know how many of you are comfortable with the bitwise operator. So because that is not much used in the programming questions, but still you should know the understanding of this bitwise operator, how actually we used this. So that I'll also discuss. Okay, so this is a very basic weeks when we start the programming, and we start just start learn the C programming syntax. Okay, so let's move to lower. One second. Okay. So structure, you know that how we start, how we write the code, so how we write the function. Now all the weeks are completed. You have already given many two programming exam as well. You have completed many assignments. So I think this is not required to discuss the structure. Basically, we will directly talk about the basic operators and that variables names. This rules just for the recap. So keywords, the names which are already defined in the programming language, and that we cannot use as a variable name. So this is also important. You should just go through these keywords. Many of them actually you have already used in your program, so you can remember that these variable names we cannot use as a these keyword we cannot use as a variable name in your program. Okay, so sometimes what if suppose question is asked like this, which one of the correct variable name. Okay, so some of the keyword is also mentioned in the options, so do not so that you looks like this is following all the rules. Okay, so suppose this continue, this is following all the rules of the variable naming. Okay, so because here we are not using any integer or any integer value at the starting, we are not using any special symbol in this, so we can use as a variable. So just remember that this is a keyword in the C and it has some meaning for the C syntax. So we cannot use this as a variable naming. So okay, so sometime this type of options are also create confusion. So make sure that you should have good some you should have good understanding that some variable keywords which we cannot use as a variable name. So just go through this list once, and there are lots of are there, but some commons you should know. Okay, and yeah, this is the main rule actually we have. So what are the variables? Variable declaration and variable initialization. This is the basic thing, but the naming rules. Okay, so this is very important for the exam perspective. Okay, so variable names must follow this rule. So they can include letters, digits, and underscore. Okay, so this is the content we can include in the variable names. They must start with the letter and underscore. Okay, so we cannot start with the digit. So here, this is the meaning. Yeah, Govinda, raise the hand. Okay, not sure. Okay, so if you have any query, you can open your mic and you can ask. Okay. Okay, so variable names are case sensitive, so this is also important. We so here this example is given my where and my where, both are the only the what is the difference, only the capital V and small v in this. So these are not same, both are actually different. So because of that, because this these are the case sensitive, variable names are the case sensitive. So C has reserved keyword that cannot be used as a variable name. So this I have already discussed. These int, if, while have some meanings in the C programming. So we cannot use this as a variable names. So just keep this thing in your mind, naming rules. And after that, data types, you know that integer we generally used, and what is the typical size for this? So 4 bytes, and in the most of the system float contains also 4 byte. Double, this is another float version, so that have the double precision and that contain the 8 byte size. Okay, character is the smallest data unit, that takes actually 1 byte. Okay, and we have another sort. So sort is also one another integer version that takes 2 bytes only. So in this way you can remember basic the characteristics of the data types also. And these are we generally not use bool or something, so okay, but instead of this bool we use the integer. Okay, so if we are getting 0, so 0 means false, other than 0 any value we consider as a true. So true is not only for 1. Okay, so if we get any value other than 0, that is considered as a true. So we can mostly use that integer for the conditional statement. Okay, custom data type that we have already discussed in the later speak, struct, enum, type, diff. Okay, that programming weeks we have discussed this. So modifier for the data types, as I mentioned, that this is just increase or decrease the size of the your normal variables. So sort reduce the integer size into 2 bytes, and long increase. So we can put like this. So long int. Okay, so long int means it will increase the size. It will increase the that range for the integer value. So in this way we can modify the normal variables size with the help of these modifiers. And after that, this basic operator, you already know that addition, subtraction, division, modulo. So what is the purpose of these? Relational. So this is also important. You should know which operator comes in which type of category. So here, these are arithmetic operators. Okay, so arithmetic, which perform arithmetic operation like this: plus, minus, multiplication, and division, and modulo operator or remainder operator. Okay, so these all are called as a arithmetic operators, comes inside the arithmetic category. So relational operator, so that compares the value. Okay, so relational means that compare the value and return some true or false as the answer, true or false. So what are the operators which comes under this category? So that are actually double equal. Okay, so this double equal sign means equal to, we are just comparing the equality of left side and right side, if both are equal to or not. Not equal to, less than means if you are comparing left side element is less than to the right side element, so that is the conditional type of operator. So we consider as a relational operator, so that actually we check the condition. Okay, and based on that, that returns the true or false value. So this equal, less than equal, right, greater than equal, all are the relational operator. Logical operator, so that's are used to combine the conditions. So if we have more than one condition to check, and we want to check the condition combinedly. Okay, so in combined means, suppose we have two conditions to check. Okay, and we want to check both conditions. So that means we have we have one case scenario where if our both condition will be true, then we will only consider something, otherwise we will skip. So like this, that means we want that both conditions should be true. So in this case, we use this logical operators, so that we have this different types of operator: logical and logical or, and logical logical not. Okay, so here I have already discussed this thing T1. Suppose we have T1 condition and T2 condition. Okay, and these two condition we have, and what are the input possibility for this? So each condition will return true or false. Okay, so now we are just talking about two conditions, so we can take like this AND operator. Okay, T1 and T2, what will be the result? And same time we can also discuss T1 or operator. Okay, so this is or T2, and this logical not is just revert the true to false or false to true, like this. Okay, so that we will also discuss. So suppose if T1 and T2, we have two condition, and suppose both are actually like false. If both are false, then what will be the AND operation? So that means what we will consider as a combined form of with the AND condition, T1 and T2. Okay, so what are the input possibility we have? So both are false, one is false and one is true. This is true and this is false, and both true, like this. Okay, so these are the input possibility with the two condition. Okay, So, and overall, we will select that what will be the overall output like this. Okay, so if we consider that both condition is in the combined form with the end. Okay, so that means if both conditions are false, then overall will be false. Okay, with the end. So in the end case, just remember that this combined with the end will all only be true if both conditions are true. Otherwise, it will be false. Okay, if any condition is false, output will be false. So this case, this will also false. This is also false. Only this case, this one case will be true for this. Okay, so we are combining both the conditions. Similarly, for the or, so according to the meaning, or means either this T1 is true or T2 is true. Okay, so according to the definition or, so if any condition input is true, okay, then output will be true. So that means here both are false, then false. If any one is true, output will be true. All three cases, output will be true. Okay, so these are the meaning of this and logical and logical or. Not is logical not is just to revert change the condition. Okay, so if we are checking T1 condition and that is true actually, so and if we write like this not T1, okay, so what is the output for T1? That will revert the condition, so true will become false and false will become true overall if come including with this not logical. Okay, so these are the logical operators which we used between the condition to combine. Okay, and that is sometimes required for according to our problem. So yeah, this is the meaning for the conditional operator. And let's move to the next. So assignment operator. So okay, so assignment operator where equal this assignment is happening. So some assignment means we after performing some any operation we are assigning the value into some variable. So that means assign operation is also including this operator. So that is called as a assignment. So here sometimes looks like this here plus sign is there. So why this is assignment? So like this is clearly assignment, but here plus equal to. So when we write like a plus equal to sorry a plus equal to 3. So what is the overall meaning for this is a equal to a plus 3. So like this, okay. So this value is now calculated and assigned to this place. So this is also a assignment operator. So all this type of operator minus equal to into equal to division equal to this modulo equal to all are comes under the assignment operator. Okay. So this is one. And increment, yeah, this is also one type of operator, but also this is a little bit confusing character. So let's discuss again this. So increment and decrement. So simple increment means we increment or decrement the variable value by 1. Okay, so first thing, this operator works with some variable. Okay, we cannot write like this a equal to 1 plus plus, not like this. Okay, so the we use this operator with some variables. So we write like a equal to b plus plus. So this is a post increment. Okay, first thing we will talk about the normal increment. So if you are writing like this a equal to and sorry, if we have the b equal to like 2 and we are writing b plus plus, we can also write like this. Okay, so in C we can write like this. So that means the this is simple one increment. So meaning is this simple b equal to b plus 1. So this is the meaning for this b equal to b plus 1. If we are writing b minus minus, so that is simple b equal to b minus 1. Okay, so this is the simple meaning for the increment and decrement operator. So this is plus plus, this is minus minus. Okay, but the one version of this is pre-increment and post-increment operators. So that is important. So let's discuss, clarify this one. Sorry. Characters or relational increment. Okay. So this one. Yeah. So pre-increment. This suppose if you're writing like this, so this is the example you can understand it. X equal to 5. This is the value, and then we are writing y equal to plus x. So name is pre-increment. Okay, so that means if we are using this in any expression, okay, so this is like a expression, and we have some operation in this expression. So before solving the expression, we will perform increment first, and then we will use the updated value in the expression. Okay, so pre-increment means we will perform increment the first in the current variable, and then we will use the updated value in the remaining part of the expression. So that is the meaning. So if x equal to 5, here assignment operator is there, so y equal to plus x. Okay, so assignment is there, so that means this right side value should be assigned to y. X value should be assigned to y, but before assigning, that increment operation will be should be performed. Okay, so this is the pre-increment. Okay, if we are using this plus before the variable, the pre-increment, so that means the value of x, so this is the meaning of this is x value we are incrementing. Okay, so we are updating the x value, so that means x equal to x plus 1. This operation will be performed first. So that current value is 5. Now 5 plus 1, 6. 6 value assigned to x, so this x become 6 overall after incrementing. Then after incrementing, then only it will be assigned to y. Okay, in the expression. So this is the meaning of where this pre-increment. In pre-increment, the value of the variable incremented before its current value is used in the expression. Okay, and then variable is increased by 1, and the updated value is used immediately. So updated value is now 6, and we have used this in the expression as a assignment, and then y becomes 6. So in this case, both value will become x will become 6 and y will become 6. So this is very commonly questions which generally asked in any competition also. Okay, so you should know very clear understanding for this pre-increment and post-increment. And now the post-increment. So post-increment is just like a reverse. So if we write like this, x equal to 5 and y equal to x plus plus. Okay, so here means is so we will use the current value of x first in the expression. After that, we will update the value of x. Okay, we will increment the value of x. So post increment means after using this x, then we will update. So here, the what is the current value of x is 5. 5 will be used in this expression. So that means 5 will be assigned to y. So and then x will update after that. Okay, so in this case, y will become only 5, but x will be updated after the assignment operation, and then x becomes 6. Okay, so that is simple increment operator. So we are at that adding the one value in this, but that will happen after using the current value in the expression. So that will become 6. So here this is the meaning of pre-increment and post-increment. Okay, so yeah, this is the same example is given here. So that is the meaning. Okay, and the expression is the just combination of operators and all the different types of operators we generally used in our programs or everything. So that is called as the expression. Operator precedence. Yeah, so this is also important because basic operator precedence order you should know. Okay, generally we know about this mainly the division, multiplication, that mod, something like this. But here we have some more operators. Okay, so that you should also know which one is have the highest. So here some order is given in this notes. You can see highest precedence is the parenthesis, and this is the lowest precedence, comma. Okay, and this sequence is given in the order highest to lowest precedence. So that if any expression contain the combination of this, so we will follow this order to solve that expression. Okay, and so like some operators have the same type of precedence, so that comes as a associativity. So this associativity is considered when the if our expression contain the same way that precedence operators in the expression. So here like plus minus. Okay, you can see this is coming. Okay, no, this is a unary operator. So we generally convert the value magnitude with this addition and subtraction. You can see. Okay, so addition and subtraction are coming at the fourth step, so, and that have the same precedence. So if any expression like we have a equal to 2 plus 4 minus 1 like this. Okay, so here this contains two operators to solve. Okay, and assignment operator is also there. So first precedence is to right part will be solved, but here we have two precedence, two operators. So which one will solve first by the compiler? Okay, so that is actually called as a associativity. Okay, if operators are different, like this a equal to 2 into 4 plus 3 like this, then you can see this division is coming as a third and addition is coming as a fourth. So this will be solved first. So that means this part will be solved first, and then after the operation, so 8 plus 3, then it's 11. Okay, that will be solved like this. Okay, but if the both have the same precedence, so then associativity comes. uh, Associativity, so most of the time this associativity is the left to right. Okay, left to right. If this expression like, okay, this have the same precedence, so this expression will be solved as a left to right manner. So that means this first part will be solved like this, and resultant 6 minus 1, then it will be solved 5. Okay, if both have the same precedence. But there is one operator like this equal operator. Okay, this equal operator have the right to left associativity. Okay, so suppose if we have like a equal to b equal to c equal to d equal to 3, how this expression will be solved? Here all equal operator have the same precedence. Okay, in this expression. So how this will be solved? This will solve right to left. So right to left means this operator will be performed first. So 3 value will be assigned to d. Then d become 3. So this d value will be assigned to c. Okay, now c become 3, and c value will be assigned to b. Then b become 3, and then b will be assigned to a. Then a become 3. So this expression will be solved from right to left. So this have the right to left associativity. Other operators, like if you are using this multiplication, division, both or modulo in the same expression, so that will be considered as a left to right associativity, same precedence. Okay, so this is all about operator precedence and associativity. So this is all things in the beak 2 mainly. So arithmetic operator, logical operator, we have already discussed. Right to left associativity for equal. Input output, we know in the C programming how we read the input and how we write the output. Okay, so this is all about the beak 3 contents. So let's move to the beak 4. So beak 4, we discussed about the control statements where we actually control the flow of execution. So control statement means when our execution is happening, and we can decide the flow of execution, how to control that. So that generally if we have the set of sequence in our code, so like we have write some sequence of code. Okay, so generally that execute from top to down manner one by one. Okay, so this is the algorithms and set of instruction execution order. But sometimes we need to skip some instruction, or we need to repeat some instruction during the execution. So suppose if suppose this is the instruction 1, 2, 3, 4 like this in this order, and we want to repeat this fourth instruction some particular number of time. So there is one way we can write this at that number of time, but instead of this, we follow some different approach to repeat the same things multiple times. And sometimes we also skip some instruction based on some condition. So that we have also decided that we always not want to execute all the instruction based on condition, we skip something or we select something. So that is the control statements. Okay. So what C provided us to handle this controls. Okay, so that is actually a conditional statement. Okay, conditional means here we will use some condition and based on that we will decide our control. Okay, and another is loop. Okay, so loop is just for the iteration, repetitions, the same things. So this is, there are basically these two type of control statement we have. Conditional statement, inside this we use this if else if this, and switcher, two type of operator. Okay, loop we have for loop and while loop. Okay, and this, and inside this loop some additional statements used, break, like this break, continue, go to these things that manage, actually manage something to flow of execution. So that's at the content of week 4. And so you know that if a statement, what is the use of if a statement. So I hope you have solved enough problems for the if. So if means, according to the normal terminology for the if, so we have if and some condition. Okay, so if that condition will return either true or false, and if this if condition is true, then we have the body of if. So we will enter into the so our control will enter into the if block body and will execute that part. If condition is not true, then this if body will be skipped. And if we have else part for that if, so that control will be moved to the else part. Otherwise, if we don't have the else part, so that means if part will be skipped and that execution will not be happen. So that is the control thing. So here you can see this if condition, if this is true, enter will move, control will move in this side, otherwise this will move inside. Okay, so what you are writing inside this body, that is a matter of the question. Okay, so this is the conditional statement basic idea. And so same things, we have the different types of conditional statement we can use like as a with as a chain. Okay, so this is only if else. So sometimes we have to check multiple condition, not only one condition. So in that case we can use this if condition, then else if condition, and we can make as a chain like this. Okay, so else if one condition, else if two condition, else if three condition. So if any condition is true, then your control will enter into that body and come out from the complete statement. So here condition is that if suppose if one condition is checked, then other condition will not be checked. Okay, not checked actually. If any condition is true, then after that no condition will be checked. So here suppose if this condition become true, so control will be moved to this side and will execute this instruction, and remaining part will not be checked, because at a time you can enter into one body, either if body, else if body, or if you have more else if body, then you can move that side. If first condition is not true, then second condition will be checked. Okay, if this is not true, then third condition will be checked. So at a time only one part of this structure will be executed. Okay, so this is the overall structure for conditional statement. And so this switch, yeah, so this is another version of this conditional statement. We have this switch statement. So yeah, this is the overall flow for execution for this. So here we have switch, and switch takes some value. So this is also a type of if else, but here syntax is different. And so this actually takes as a expression as a input, and what is the output of that expression? Based on that we already decided the case. Okay, so what is the output? Suppose this expression is returning like 1 to 7 value. Okay, 1 to 7 value. So if we know that what type of input will come from the expression, so based on that we decided our case number. Okay, so and based on that we decide our execution statement. So suppose we know that this expression will always return a 1 to 7 value. Okay, and this is the limited things. For that, we will decide our case number. So case one, for one value will be one. Okay, here will be defined as a case one. Like case, if our value is two, so case value we will define as a two. Case two, case three, like this. Okay, in the sequence. And for each case, some set of instruction or set of statement we can define as a body. And here this break is important. Here this break is important because here if we are entering into any case, suppose this case one is true, and if we are entering into this statement case one, so after execution of this, we if we don't want to execute the remaining part of the code, we have to break the code. Okay, then only this our code will be break. If you miss this break, then execution will be flow will be like this. Okay, so if you entered inside the case one, then statement will be execute. After that, all remaining statement of case two, case three, all will execute. If this break is not used in this structure. Okay, so some case so some requirement we have like this. So at any point if you are entering inside any case, after that all case statement execution should be happen. So because of that this type of structure is there, but you can also manage this with the help of break. Okay, if you are not using breaks, all execution will be happen in this statement. So like code wise we can see what type of code is there. So this is the things. Okay, so switch, expression, case value, and then code. Okay, and then break. And I think example is also there. So here you can see. So we are passing some input, or this may be some any expression, but this will return some output, and that output should be matched with some case value. Okay, so this is the value for case. And for each case we define some statement, but after that we stop that. Okay, so if we want to, if we want that at a time, only one case statement should be execute, not the remaining one. So we use this break. If you want to execute the all remaining case, if any case is okay, then after that all should be executed. So we will remove this break. So in this case, all break are there in the every statement. So suppose if day equal to 2, so case 2 is now matched, and this print will be happen. Okay, only this print will be happen, and control will be move out to this switch statement. But if we suppose if we remove this break from every, okay, and now day is 2, so what will happen? So control will enter into this case 2. This is the first statement, Tuesday will be print. After that it will move to the next statement, Wednesday will also print, and this other day will also be print. Okay, so there is no breakage. So after so first thing, case number will be checked. At any point if case is checked, so control will enter into inside this. If break is not there, so it will execute continuously. Like, okay, so suppose if break is there inside 3, so Tuesday and Wednesday will be print, then other days not will be not print. Okay, if break is not there and at any place, so Tuesday, Wednesday, other day, all will be print in the continuously. So this is the understanding of the control statement. So this is the switch. So this switch and conditional statement we can use for our purpose. And after that comes to the, so nested conditional statement means condition inside the condition. So that is also one way to write the code. Like if, you can see inside the one if condition, body of the if, we are using the another if conditional statement. So that is the called as a nested conditional statement. Okay. So next is loop. So loop is just if we want to repeat some statement for some particular number of times or based on some conditions, so that we require loops. Okay, so sometimes we required a execution of some specific part multiple times. Okay, that is not decided. Maybe one or two times if it is required, we can write our code multiple time. Okay, but suppose if it is like 100 times repetition is required, so that you cannot write hard code for that. So at that case, loop is the better way to write the code. And there are two types of loop here, for loop and while loop. Okay, so this is just like a flow. So here initialization is the first step of the for loop. Then that means we will just take as a counter variable. Okay, so that counter variable will just decide the number of iteration of the loop. And we will so that initialization is required. So suppose if we are taking like as a I equal to 0, so that we are taking I as a controller of this loop. Okay, and this is the initialization for I. Condition statement will decide that how many times we want to, when we will break actually this. Okay, when we will stop this our loop. So suppose this is set like I equal to 10, I is less than equal to 10. So that means I is now started with 0 every time this condition will be checked. Every time this condition will be checked, and if condition is true, we will enter inside the body of loop. Then we'll execute this. After the body, we will update our conditional variable, so that will move closer to the condition break condition. So like we will update like this I equal to I plus 1, so that I will become 0 to 1. Okay, so 1 is still less than 10. Again we will enter inside the body, then we will again increment that. Okay, so I will become 2. So in this way we will every time we will update our condition variable, and that will actually reach after some number of iteration, that will reach at the break condition, and at that time our condition will become false and we will come out from the loop. Okay, so that is the way of the loop execution, and we use this syntax inside the for loop. So for loop is looks like this. This is the syntax. So here initialization, this is the first part where you can initialize the variables. Here you can initialize not only one variable, you can also initialize more than one variable. Okay, so you can write like int I equal to 0 and or j equal to uh, 4. Okay, so multiple variable can be initialized in this position. So this is the just a initialization field. If you want to just control your loop based on more than one variable, so you can initialize like this. Okay, and this is also optional. Suppose if you have already initialized some variable before this, okay, so that int I equal to 0 at this before statement, then you can leave it. Okay, so this means you can just leave this as a blank space, this part, and then you can use this as a condition. So this is I is less than equal to 10. Okay, so this is the condition part where you can write a condition to break or stop the loop, and this is the part where you can update your variable. Okay, so at every iteration, so this is the body. No need to update the variable inside the body. After execution of the body, you can update your variable here. Okay, so this is the place where you can write the update statements like I equal to I plus 1 or I minus 1 or anything. Okay, so in this way this iteration will be happen. So this is the for loop. There are these three fields. Okay, so you should know. Okay, so next is this is the example for this. Okay, so you can see I equal to 1, I is less than equal to 5, I plus plus. Yeah, so that question is asked like this. I hope you have already seen in the quiz 1. So how many times this suppose hello is written inside the print statement, so how many times hello will be printed by this loop? So you should have good understanding that how this loop is iterating. Okay, so it is starting from 1, it will stop at 5, and every time it is incremented by 1. Okay, so that means 5 times this print statement will execute. So this is the way to check this for loop. Okay, and so loop bodies, these are some example given with the help of for loop. We can also run in the reverse way. So like we are starting from 10 and break condition is less greater than equal to 1. Every time we are decreasing this. Okay, so this is just a reverse loop. Infinite loop, if our loop is badly defined, so we found many that saw submission in the OPP exam when student face this type of issue, and code is not giving any output, code is giving something went wrong type of output like this. So mostly this happen when you write some code, you write some loop, but you have badly defined that loop, that your code is not stopping, continuously running. Okay, so in this case you should carefully you should write the syntax for loop, properly define the initialization, conditional statement, and update variable. Here you can see update variable is missing. Here we have initialize I equal to 1, conditional statement is also given, but we are not updating I. So I will always remain 1, and this loop will continuously run. Okay, so this is like as infinite. So while loop is the different type of iteration handler. So, but it also work like similar things. You can see the structure is very similar. So condition. So before condition, we take some initialization things. Okay, so we also here to maintain some variable to handle this loop. Okay, so that initialization happened before the loop, and that variable we used inside the condition, and we update that variable inside the body itself. Okay, here we don't have that for loop type of three place where we will follow all these things. So we have only while, and inside the while we write the condition only. Inside the body of while we update our variables. Okay, before the while loop we initialize the variables. Okay, so this is the structure of while loop. And this you can see. So while condition, this is the condition field. Before that you have to initialize some variable, and inside the body you have to update the variable, otherwise the same thing. Okay, so you can see int I equal to 1 is initialized before this. Conditional statement is written inside with the while to break. Okay, and update variable is happening inside the body, I plus plus. So all things are we need to maintain the loop, which we have already used inside the for loop. So but the way to represent is different. Okay, so that is the same thing. So here we can also decide that how many times we want to iterate this. So that is also a loop. Then same infinite loop is possible here. So suppose if we have written while 1 and then statement. So 1 means true. Okay, 1 means true. So that means while this so this means while this loop is true, we will execute this, but this will never become false. So this one will always remain 1. So we are not breaking this, and so that will become infinite loop. Okay, so termination condition. So this is again the same things that should be properly defined. Do while loop is the different thing. So normal while loop is actually said that your condition should at least so this while loop. Okay, so the body of the while will be executed only if your condition is true. Okay, so that means first time also if your condition is true, then only body will be executed. But do while actually handle perform this loop in the different way. Do means first at least one time we will perform the body without checking any condition. One time we will perform the body execution, then we will ask for the condition. Okay, so after performing the body execution, then we will check the condition. If then condition is true, then we will repeat. Okay, so in do while loop at least one time of the body will execute, but normal while loop that is also not possible. Okay, so this is just a do live statement. So do, so first time control will be entered into the body, but after that this condition should be true to enter again. So this is the do while the example is given. And nested loop is also possible. So you have already seen inside the that matrix type of problems where we required some 2D structure to traverse. So like this for loop for one variable, inside that another variable is there, so that we are following. Okay, so this is called as a nested for loop. And yeah, these are some control statement which actually maintain the loops, handle the loops. Okay, so what are these? Actually break. Okay, so sometimes we require to break the loop in between without completion of the iteration. Okay, so based on some conditions, so we can break this. Okay, so with the help of this break, so here that iteration is defined as a 10, but we want to stop at any particular condition. So that is if I become 5, we will break this. Okay, so this loop will terminate in between. Okay, so once our break will execute, our loop near closest loop will be terminated. Suppose if we are using nested loop. Okay, so first loop, then second loop, and inside the second loop we are using break. So only inner loop will be actually terminate, not the outer loop. Okay, so closure loop will be terminate. So continue statement is also a one type of loop handler. So that is actually if suppose sometimes we have this, we are running some loop and we have some statement, but for some condition we don't want to execute the remaining part of the code after that. So that we can decide the continue statement. So continue statement is directly jump back to the next iteration without moving to the remaining part of the body. So that is actually continue statement. And go to statement is the different things that is also handle the control, but that is not generally used now. So you can decide the label at any particular point in your code, like start is defined as a label, okay, but later you can directly jump to the that point in your code. Okay, so go to start, so that is the jump back to the previous position and execution will start from that point. So that is also one way to the control. You can try, but commonly we generally not use this too much. Okay, so all the things can be handled by the different case, like conditional statement and loop and while loop, all these things. So this all about the loops control statement. Yeah. So this is just a writing a control statement writing format, single line writing format, and with the help of brackets. So you can also try this. Like conditional statement can be written like this. Okay, one line statement, and we can write like in the with the brackets. So this is just a writing style. You should aware of this. So this is the big four. So this is the main actually core part of the programming. Okay, so this conditional statement, loops, basic syntax, this is the base actually of the every programming language and C also. Now after that, additional features actually now in comes in the programming. So next is actually a big five content. So big five content is function and recursion. Now there is a one way to write the code is just write a statement continuously. Okay, like if you are writing some solution of the code and you are writing 100 lines continuously of the code, okay, with the help of for loop conditional statement, and there is no breakage in between like this. But this is not properly readable, not properly understandable. Suppose if you are writing the code, you may understand, but after maybe if you look that your same code after maybe 100 days, you will also not understand that what is this code is actually, and at every step what is happening. So that is not proper readable as maintainable as well as the understandable. Okay, so that means we can so this function actually provide the feature of to write a code in proper modular form. Okay, so that means we can write our complete code into the some particular number of blocks. Okay, so that blocks and blocks means we can decide the what is the purpose of every block, and we can separate our each purpose as in the modular form. So here we can easily understand that we can write some comments for the each block that this block is doing these things. So that is properly actually readable also, and anyone can understand what is the this part of the code is doing, and that is also proper maintainable. So block of code is actually called as a function. So if we write a block of code and we gives the some name for that block, and that is called as a function. Okay, and recursion is a one another type of category of the function we can write like this. So that is the different things. So we'll discuss. So function, you can see this the benefits of the function reusability. So that means we can write a one block, we can give the name of that block, and we can call that block at any number of time in from our code. Okay, so that means if you are just writing one time, but you can execute any number of time in your code by just by calling the block name. So that is the reusability, modularity, breaking down complex program into a smaller manageable unit. Okay, so that is one thing. Readability is improved, maintainability also improved. So predefined function is we generally use like this printf, scanf, malloc, free in our codes. That is predefined function which is defined inside the standard library. External library you can also use like the sign, cos, math.h. Okay, so this is external library which is not written by the C, but it is designed by the another one, but it is adapted by the C. And user defined function where you can write. Okay, so you can write your function and you can use that function in your code. Okay, that is called the user, right? So here function name, parameter. So parameter is just as a input for this function body. Okay, and return type is just a what function this function will return to the code. Okay, to the same code when we will call this function. So that is the return type we have to define. Otherwise, parameter is just a input for the function body. So where we will perform some task, and body is the main actually set of statement for this function. So that is just a structure of the function. Like this example, you can see here. Here add this function is just a declare. Okay, so this is some way of the declaration or defining the function. So sometimes we declare our function after the main function. Okay, so that time we generally actually declare the function definition, or sorry, or we just meant we declare the prototype of function. So that means we are just telling to the compiler we have one function defined later, but the name of the function is add, return type of this is int, and there are two parameter, integer a and int b. Okay, it's for the prototype we can also skip this. Okay, so no need to write this a and b. Also you can just write it integer just, okay, so integer you can also write in the prototype. So a main function, and then you can define this function at any point in your code. So here this is the definition where we have defined this. So same integer int, but in this we have to define the variable name also, because we want to use this variable name in our body. Okay, so and this is the body, and that function will return something. So here this is the function for addition to integer value a and b, and this will return the sum to the code. And here you can see here we are calling this result equal to add 5 3. So 5 3 are the argument we called as a, that argument pass as a parameter to a and b, and that will that code will be executed on this and will return the sum of this to this result variable. Okay, so that means this call will be replaced by the return value in your code. Okay, so add 5 comma 3 will be replaced by the 8 once this will call, and this 8 is now become a normal equation, so result equal to 8. So 8 is now assigned to result, and that will be that will use in your code. So this is called as a this is a function type of things. So we can write some specific type of block if you feel that this block will be executed multiple times in your code, so that you can define one block and you can call it any number of time. So this is one example for this. So this is, you can see another square is there. Square, we have defined a square definition we have defined, and we are calling this from the another function, a main function. So this is the way to pass the parameter. So we can pass the value directly, or we can pass the address. Okay, so that is actually with the help of pointer. So call by value is just as a, so here suppose if you are passing this call by value, so you can see int num equal to 5, and we are passing this num means so value will be passed, this 5 value will be passed here, and that 5 value will be assigned to a new variable, new memory location. So this x is a local variable for this increment function. Okay, so this x is have different memory, and that memory this 5 value will be assigned, so x will become 5. Okay, now this num is totally different. So this num is equal to 5 is totally different memory place, and this is totally different memory place. Only the value is copied in this location. Now this value is used in the function, and that our task is done. Call by reference actually pass the memory address, and data is used from the memory location directly. So here this is the example for the call by reference. So that is so you can see this is the same type of code, but here we have num equal to 5, and this is the address of num. Okay, so this is the address of num. So that means num is have some memory, and that memory contain 5. Now we are passing the address of this memory. Okay, some address, suppose like 10005, suppose this is the memory address. So this address we are passing to the function, so that is a pointer, this is a pointer. That pointer will contain this 10005 address. Now this address is itself a same memory location. Okay, so we are not storing the data into the new memory. This data is the same inside the same memory, and we are reading from that memory here pointer. And this operation is just incrementing the value of that location. So that means from this location we are directly incrementing this value by 1. Okay, so that will become 6. Okay, by this operation. And we are printing this, so the 6 will be printed. But this operation is updating the value on the same memory location, which is where from this is called. So 6, now this is updated here, so that will also reflect in your call place. But here this is the total separate function, but it is also means updating the value from the with the help of address. Okay, which is assigned inside the main. Okay, so this int num is the local variable for main, but it is updated by the another function because we pass the address of that. So for some case you can use the pointers. This is called as a call by reference or call by address. Okay, with the help of pointer. So this is one thing. And recursion is just a another way to write the function. So that is actually according to the name recur. Okay, so recursion means we are repeatedly executing the same function. Okay, and the condition is also defined inside the same function, or we can normalize simplify this definition is a function call itself from the inside. Okay, body. So that is called as a recursion. So means you can see factorial is defined, but inside this body of this same function call. Okay, so factorial is called from inside the body of this function. So that is the called as a recursion. But here some carefully we need to define the base case and recursive case. So there are two main points of the recursion. Actually, base case should be defined and recursive case should be defined. Base case is called for the case when our recursive call will be stopped. Okay, because if you're calling the same person again and again from the main same call, so this will become a infinite recursion. But here we should stop this after some times. So that means some base case should definitely is defined inside this where our recursive call will stop. Another part, recursive case should also be defined in this way. So the value of the input of this function should be reached to the base case after some number of times. Okay. So here you can see we started with the n, but every calling we are passing a n minus 1. Okay. And base case is set to 0 or 1. If we reached at either 0 or 1, we will return 1 without calling again. So you can see we are reducing. So that means if we are starting n equal to 5, every time this 5 value will be reduced by 1. So this will become 4, 3, 2, 1, and 1 when it is reached. So the condition will be satisfied and this will execute. Okay. So that means this recursive case should also be write properly. So after some number of recursive calls, this base case should be executed. Okay, we cannot write like this plus. Okay, so in this case now base is set to 0, but now this will increase. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so we will not reach at the base. Okay, so this is the main requirement of the recursive function if you're writing. So that actually recursive is the another type of techniques to write a function, but it actually solve many difficult problem in easy way or with minimum number of code, minimum number of line of code. Okay, so but you should have proper practice on this recursive function. So we have given some basic example in our course and lab session also for that. You can start with. So this is recursion, and recursion is also two types: direct recursion and indirect recursion. So that is so directly or indirectly. So directly or indirectly means suppose we have a function. Okay, so a function, and inside this function we are calling this a function. Okay, so this is called a direct recursion function. Okay, but some recursive function is like this. So a function is there, inside this body b function is called, and there is another b function, from that body a function is called. Okay, So that means the control is moving to this B, and B is now this. From B, we are coming back to A. So this is called as indirect recursion. So this is two types of recursion. Base case recursive. These are the main terminology for this type of recursion. Direct recursion, I have given this example. Indirect recursion like this. Okay, so odd, even, and odd two functions are there. From even we are calling odd function. From odd function we are calling even function. So in this way this is happening. So, and scope, yeah, scope is also one. So if we have defined any variable in any place in our code, where from we can access that variable. Okay, so that is the type called as a scope. Okay, so global scope means if we are defining any variable as a global, so that can be accessed from any part of the code. So that is the area of global that is called as a outside of the functions. Okay, we are not defining this variable in any inside of any function. So this is totally outside of the function. So this become a global variable. Now this variable can be called or accessed from any part of the code, any function or any outside of the function. You can access this. Okay. Local scope is if you defined any variable inside the function, so that variable can be accessed only inside of that function body, not outside of that. Okay. So here you can see local variable is defined inside this local scope for example function that cannot be accessed inside from the main function, or main function variable cannot be accessed from the local function. So that are the local for that function only. Okay. Block scope is also one scope. So sometimes this body and curly brackets, this is defined as a block. Okay, body. So you can see this is the main function. We are inside the one function. Okay, but inside this is the one block. Okay, so this open body and closed body for the if condition. Inside this we declare this variable int y equal to 10. So this variable is now become a that block level scope. Only this for this if statement body. This cannot be accessed outside of this body. Okay, so that is called as a scope that block level scope. So you can see this the example. Okay, so this is the content of week 5, and now let's move to the week 6. So where the pointer is started, and pointer is so pointer and this endianness. Okay, so this is just a memory representation. So pointer is the main content. So what is the pointer? Basically pointer is also a variable. It can also be defined like as a variable name. We can give the name like as a variable name, but this is the specific type of variable that contain the memory address. Okay, only. So, and this the declaration is the different way. So we use this asterisk sign before this to declare. So data type you can define like this. So what type of you are storing the memory address, but that memory location actually what type of data contains. So that data type you have to define here. So if you are writing int asterisk ptr, so that means this pointer will contain the address of a integer type of memory location. Okay, so where the integer data is stored. Okay, so that is the meaning of this pointer, this data type, and asterisk is the just representation to declare before this. So here, this at the time of declaration, this is just identification as a this is a pointer, but later we use this operator as a dereferencing operator. Okay, so that is the different thing. Initialization. So how we can initialize that assign the value for the pointer. So this is the example. This is one variable x equal to 10, and this is the pointer for the ptr. Now we want to store the address of this x into the ptr. So that we write like this operator. Okay, so we use this and symbol before the variable, so that returns the memory address. Okay, and that address will be assigned to pointer.
Sir, one question.
Hmm.
What's the size of the variable of when a pointer variable? Like for int, we have 4 bytes,
So pointer size is generally 8 byte.
8 bytes. Okay.
Okay, so but yeah, because this is only storing the memory address, so memory address will have the same size. That is not depend on the data.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so that address value is actually, so pointer, most of the time pointer size is 8 byte. So okay, so this is hmm. So dereferencing pointer. So if we have the pointer address, so how we can get the value of that address locations? Okay, so sometimes we require this. We want to read the value of the memory location from the pointer. Okay, so here how we can read the value. So this is the same operator will be used as a dereference operator now. So at the time of declaration, we use this asterisk sign like this. Okay, so asterisk. So this is just a pointer identification. But later, if we write like this, so this is work as a dereference operator. So that means what is the address stored inside this PTR value pointer? Okay, on that address location, what is the value actually stored? What is the data actually stored? So that data will be read by this dereference. Okay, so x equal to 10, the address of x, maybe suppose this x is pointing to some memory location, 1000 is the address of this, 10 value is stored this location. So this 1000 will be stored inside the PTR. Okay, so PTR will contain this address 1000. Okay, memory address. Now what is the value at that memory address? We can read like this. Okay, so this is the dereference. Okay, so asterisk PTR will directly jump to this address and memory location, and this data will be read. Okay, so 10 will be read. So this is called as a dereferencing. So we can also update the value like this. So you have to write like this: asterisk PTR equal to, suppose you want to update something. Okay, so you can write like this: asterisk PTR plus 10. Okay, so that means what is the value at that location is 10, and 10 plus 10 become 20, and that value will be assigned to this, okay, location. So this is also referring to location. So 20 value will be updated here. Okay, so this is just a use case of the pointer. And so pointer to pointer we can also store like this. So so you can see x is equal to 10, this asterisk PTR equal to x pointer. Okay, but we want to store the address of the pointer. So how you can store that? So that means pointer of the pointer. Okay, so that means you want to, because pointer value, so pointer, that is also a variable. Okay, that has also a memory location to store the address. So that memory location also have the address. Okay, so like this, that means x is the value. So x point to some memory location. Suppose this is a 1000, and 10 value is stored. PTR is also a one memory location. Suppose that is 2000 address, but inside this 1000 value is stored. Okay, so we want to store this address, pointer memory location address. So that we can store also. So in the same way, so here we have to declare like this. Okay, asterisk PTR. So this is a pointer to the pointer. So that PTR will also have some memory location. So maybe like 5000 something, any address. Okay, you can assume, but that will contain the address of this tool, this thing. Okay, so because data, this address is also a data for the pointer. So that data is also will store also in some memory location. So that will also contain some address. So in this way, we can also use this. So pointers and functions. So how we
So,
can pass? Yes.
so one question, like
Mhm.
here in the above statement, we have said printf star star ptr2.
Hmm.
So we have used two asterisks over there. If
Hmm.
we say just one asterisk, then what will it print like over here?
Let's
PTR2, if we say,
let's check.
like in the printf statement.
Hmm. Okay, let's run this. Hmm. So you can see we are getting 10 because we are reading the dereferencing that value. So it will give error because that is, you can see, not printing some anything because this is a invalid type of things argument of unity. Okay, so we cannot assign the address of pointer in the simple asterisk sign. So there is some predefined convention is there, so that is required to have. So if we need to store the address of pointers, we have to declare like as a pointer of pointers. That is a double asterisk things. So same things we also use to suppose if sometimes we create the structure array in week 8, week 9, if you can remember, and that is the structure array. So that means each that value of the array is actually pointing to the structure one structure. So at that time also we use this double type of asterisk thing. So that means we are creating a new array that will where the each value is also a some pointer. So this is just a convention to declare this pointer to pointer. Otherwise, it will not accept.
Okay, sir. Sir, and if we just dereference it once, then will it print the address of? Okay.
So it is printing. Okay, so but still it is showing some this warning type of things.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, so okay, so that is here. So yeah, this is pointer and pointer function that we can also use. So means sometimes we require to pass the pointer to the function or address. So this is we have already discussed, I think. So that we want to update. So that means from main function we call this function, but we want to get the result in the main function without passing the without returning any value from the function. So directly solution will be updated at the memory place. So we can pass the pointer to the function. So that is the one way. Null pointer is just a pointer that contains a null value. Okay, that value, there's no value assigned to that for that pointer. So that is called as a null pointer. Okay, so you can see strict ptr equal to null. So this is also important in the dynamic memory locations sometimes. So if you are allocating memory dynamically, sometimes if memory is not available, so that function is also returned back to the null, to the pointer. So that is we generally checked as a prevent for the code if memory is allocated or not. So that ptr is equal to null or not. So that is okay. So if pointer contain a null value, okay, so that is called as a null pointer. Or some later things is also there regarding this pointer things. Dangling pointer is one thing. If we have that dangling pointer, if we have that free our pointer, and still we are using that pointer. So okay, in our codes of free. So that is called as a dangling pointer. Okay, so here endianness, this is just a memory representation, how the memory is actually assigned for the data. So what order actually memory address is also there, no? So the memory address is like a sequence of some number. So how that order is actually assigned to the data if we are creating some memory date like array or something. So that is just two types of endianness is there. So that is discussed in this week. So little endian and big endian. So what is the meaning of this? Little endian, the least significant byte is stored at the smallest memory address. So that address means this example you can understand that. So this is the value we have. Okay. So this is the value we have, 4 byte value we have. Each byte contains this 2 digit. Okay. Like this. Okay. So how this value will be stored in if we have the little endian representation, and this is the address actually. Okay. This is the address of 101, 102, 103, 104. So this is just we are taking as an example as a continuous order. So for the little endian means the this uh, least significant byte will be stored at the small memory. Okay, so this least significant, this side byte, this one byte will be stored at the smallest memory location. Then next location, then most significant will be stored at the largest memory location. So this is the order. So the 78 will be stored at this 100, and then next is 101, 102, like this. This is the byte sequence. But big endian is just a reverse of this. Big endian is the same. The value will be stored. So this least significant byte 78 will be stored at the largest memory. So the reverse is okay. So 78 will be stored at the largest location, and this most significant bit will be stored at the smallest memory location. So this is the order to store in this little endian and big endian representation. So that is just a memory way to represent. Some other things also that endianness data, that alignment, these things is there. So that is also just way to represent the data. So that is also not too much important. But yeah, we have just adding this concept in the notes. You can just see this, but this is not too much important. Okay, so there are many things is we have included this. Okay, so this the main basic idea is just endianness and big endianness and little endianness, and little things you can check. So now this is the content for week 6. So let's move to the assignment question. One second. Mock questions. Okay, so that mock question what we have, let's try to solve this, and you can also, if you have solved, you can also suggest solution. Okay, so the first question, you can see this is asked, which of the following, let me increase the font. Okay, so this is the first question. This is one code snippet is given, and for this, what is asking, what is the value of the correct output of the above program? So you can see what is this related to. So here there is one variable declare here. So the int a equal to 10, and then brackets is started. Okay, so this is just a open bracket and close bracket, no conditional statement, nothing. So this become a one block of the code, and inside this another variable int a equal to 30 is defined, and now we are just mm, uh, printing this value. So what output will be come by this? Okay, just tell me solution for this, anyone?
So 30 and 10.
30 and 10. Okay, so why this is solution?
Inside the inner block, we have a is equal to 30, so it will print out 30. Then when it goes outside the block, the value of a will again, that variable will be lost. The scope is limited to that particular block, and then it will print 10 for the outer block.
Okay,
So
yeah, fine. So this question is related to the scope things. Okay, so this scope means int a equal to define first at the 10, but inside the block again this is declared. Okay, so int a. So this is the another variable. This is the not same as the previous variable. If we not declared again, then this will read the value from the above one. Okay, then it will update the value. But if we have declared this inside the block, so that become a new variable for this block only as a local variable. Okay, block level. Okay, if suppose this is only just a equal to 30, so that means now value will be updated. The outer variable value will be updated. But if we are declaring inside this new this block, so that will become a local for this block, and that will be read inside this that print statement. So first value will come as a 30 by this first statement, and now because this was the local for this, so outside, so that value will be read only by the outside variable which is declared, so a equal to 10. Okay, so that is the different variable, and scope we have outside of this, so that will be read as a equal to 10. So 30 and 10, this answer will be correct for this, 30 and 10. Okay, so let's move to the next. So this we have discussed. Switch case. You can see int main a equal to 2. Okay, now a is equal to 2 and switch plus a. Okay, now this is pre-increment is also involved in this. So let's tell me what will be the final value in this output value from this expression. Okay,
36.
36. How you are getting? So what will be the overall value which will be passed to the from the switch?
3.
3. Okay. Yeah. So here doesn't matter what we are using. This we can if we are using plus plus, still 3 will be passed, and a plus will also be passed as a 3. But no, actually this is now considered as a one expression. So overall expression will be passed as a that value. So 3 now case 3 will be matched. So case 3 now our control will be entered into this a3. So what is the 3 value? So a become a 3 into 4. That is not 12 because there is no break statement in this. So all remaining expression will also be executed from this point. So now a equal to a divided by 2. So that becomes 6. Okay. 6. Now next is a equal to a into a. So a equal to 6 into 6. So that is now 36. Okay, so 36 will be the output for this. And next is so this which of the following statement is true regarding function in C? So just check it and see which is the correct.
Option 1 and 2.
Okay, so a function is a block of code which is only executed when it is invoked. Yeah, that is correct. Okay, this statement is correct. A function can be invoked multiple times in the same program. Yeah, that is the also property of the function. We can call any number of times. Okay, so a function cannot accept more than two parameters. So there is no limitation like this. Okay, so with the function, we can pass any number of parameters. A function cannot call itself. This is also not true because we have already seen the recursion concept where we can call itself. So yeah, correct. Statement 1 and 2 is the correct regarding the function. Okay, so next is this. What will be the output of this C program? Okay, just try to solve this and tell me what is the solution. A and B value we are printing by the main function. So here this is also very related to the scope. Okay, so this is a function. What this function is doing? This function is just a performing swap operation. If you see, in temp equal to A equal to B equal to temp. This is swapping. This is performing swapping.
So 5 and 3.
5 and 3. Why this is 5 and 3, not 3 and 5?
Because these are like the variable a and b are like the block variables,
Okay.
so they won't get updated when the fun is called.
Yes.
So
So
we're just gonna play with them.
this A and B are the local variable for the main function,
Yeah.
and this above A and B are the local variable for the fun function. So if these are updating inside the fun function, that will not affect the main function variables value. Okay, that will remain the same 5 and 3. Okay, so if you're calling this function, value local variable of the functions are changing, but here the main function variables are local, so that is not affected, and that will remain as it is. So 5 and 3 will be the output for this. Yeah, correct. Okay, so fifth question. So this is regarding which of the following function compute and returns the factorial of the given positive integer number. Okay, so this is just a code validation. So just tell me The first two function will perform the correct calculation or not. And what is the mistake if it is not correcting? I hope you know the factorial means.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So the first one and third one.
First and third one. Okay, let's just go through this. So first, suppose in num value we are taking like as is just we can take some sample input like 4. Okay, so int res equal to 1. Then while we are running a loop, so answer should become like as a 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, like this. So that should be the answer. So this is 12. So here if we perform this, so result equal to 1 while num is greater than equal to 0. So we are performing result equal to into num. Okay, so that means 1 and then number is num minus minus, and after that we are returning num. Okay, yeah, this is working fine because we are just taking num equal to 4. Okay, and result equal to 1. So 1 will that will be performed like 4. Then we will reduce this 3. Then still the condition is true, then 2, then 1. Okay, so after that, when we reduce this num, so it becomes 0, so loop will terminate and so our output will become correctly. Okay, so yeah, this is correct. Second code, why this is correct, incorrect? So let's check this. Okay, what is the issue with this?
We're not decrementing num, so it will just
So,
multiply with the original value of num.
and this will also enter to the
Yeah,
infinite loop.
yeah, infinite loop. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So this is the just mistake. So that means we are not updating the num value, and that will this loop will enter into the infinite loop, will not stop. So yeah, correct. And the third, so this is a recursive function. Okay, so recursive function is num, that this is a base case and this is a recursive part. We have discussed this. Okay, so if we are reaching at the num equal to 0, we will return 1. Otherwise, we will return num equal to factorial num minus 1. So that means suppose if we start with fact like 4. Okay, so this, and when we enter inside this function, so our first condition is not true, so our call will be like this. So return 4 into fact num minus 1, so that will become fact 3. Okay, so now our input is changed, so that is a new call. So that is actually fact 3, and inside this body first condition is not true, so that is now return 3 into fact 2. Okay, now this is again new call fact 2. Then we enter the body, and again this is not equal to 0, so this is now return 2 into fact 1. Okay, now another call. So fact 1, same. Now first condition is not true, so return 1 into fact 0. Okay, now this is a new call fact 0. So that means input is 0. Now this is now the first condition is true. This one. So 0 will be, so return 1. So from this 1 will be returned. So the 1 into, so that will be replaced by 1. Okay, so 1 into 1, overall 1. So this function will now return a 1 value from. Okay, so this part will be replaced by 1. Okay, so now 2 into 1, so 2. So this function will return 2 here. Okay, so this is now return 2. 3 into 2, 6, overall 6. So the 6 value will be returned here. So 6 value will be passed here. Okay. Uh, oh, something wrong. We have done 4, 3. Yeah, answer is correct. Yeah. So 6 into 4 equal to 24. So 24 answer is there. Yeah, in the previous calculation I mentioned wrong. Okay, so that I mentioned 12 answer. So this is now 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So that means 12 into 24. Yeah, 24 is correct. Okay, and why this is incorrect? Okay. So what will be the output of this code?
0.
Yeah, correct, 0. So the function call is very similar, but what will happen? This is returning 0 at the last call. Okay, so that means from this point, this will return 0. and this will make all 0 by the multiplication. So 0 into 1 0, okay, so 0, then 0 into 2 0, and this again 0 into 3 0, and then 0 into 4 0. So all will become 0 due to this 0 multiplication. So output will be 0 by this, because we are returning from the base case as a 0, and that will be multiplied to our previous calculation. So that will become our solution 0. So output is not correct. So yeah, this is correct, and the first code was correct. Okay, so let's move to the next. Hmm. In C, which of the following are valid operation on pointer variables? So pointer variables, yeah, this is comes under the arithmetic, pointer arithmetic, that is discussed in the week 7. Okay, so that it will be discussed here, but we can discuss this question also here. So pointer arithmetic, what we can do, what we cannot do. Hmm?
So compare and increment decrement.
Hmm. So yeah. So dividing the pointer variable is not a operation we can do with the pointer variable. Okay. So pointer arithmetic supports the operation of increment and decrement operator. Okay. And comparing two pointers. These are the two pointer arithmetic operation which we can perform. Okay, comparing and this multiplication and dividing. These arithmetic operations cannot be performed with the pointer. So this will be discussed in the week 7 content. Okay. So let's move to the next. Hmm. So here we have some code, and what we have the plan from the given option. Identify the appropriate statement in place of missing code. If the output of the code is 1, select all that apply. Okay. So which of the code will be the correct? It will return 1 output. So what is happening here? We are assigning a equal to 1. Then what we are doing? Int asterisk b. So this is b is a pointer that will contain the address of a. Okay, so that means some pointer is there, that address, and some address will be stored like and a, and that is pointing to some value 1. Okay.
Option 1 and 3 is that
1 and 3. Okay, let's see this for the 1. So now b is pointing to this address, and that contain 1, and we are printing the value of a. Okay, so let's see first option what is doing. It is doing a equal to asterisk b. So a equal to asterisk b. So what is this asterisk b? Yeah, so this asterisk b is just a dereferencing operator of this b. So that is also will return a 1 value. So 1 value will be assigned to a, and that will be printed. Yeah, this is correct. Asterisk a equal to b. So this asterisk a equal to b. This will give error because this a is a normal variable. Okay, and we cannot use the dereference with the normal variable. This will give error, syntax error. This asterisk. Okay, so this is also why this is correct. Okay, okay, yeah, this is correct, correct. So because this is now when we are using this and a, so this is now become a address. Okay, and with the address we are using this dereferencing. So what is the value of that address? So for that location, that means for that location, not value, for that location, if you are using at the left side, so the location, this is now pointing to location, and asterisk b, that value we are assigning at this location. Okay, so that will also perform the same operation. So that will become a equal to 1 like this. Yeah, so this become a true. Give me a minute. So here, next statement is asterisk a. Again, this is the same syntax error it will give because this statement is not valid. Okay, so 1 and 3 will be the correct for this. The next question is about the pointer and the same thing. Okay. Okay, so what this is doing? So function in stick. Okay, this is the pointer and we are incrementing. Okay, now this is called from the main function. So x equal to 7, but we are passing the address of x. So to pointer, so pointer is containing the address of x, and we are printing again x value. Okay, so I think this is very clear. This is the incrementing the value of pointer by 1. Options are, it incremented the value pointed by ptr by 2. So this is not correct because incrementing is happening one time. It adds 1 to the value pointed to by ptr. Okay. Uh, hmm. It modify the address of ptr because we are not modifying the address. So here, okay, this function, it does not modify the value pointed to. Here, this only option 2 is reflecting the correct things because by the function fun, we are not modifying the address, we are updating the value. It does not modify the value of the pointed by the ptr. No, it is updating. Okay, so it is incrementing. So only option 2 is correct for this. Okay, this is endianness. So we have already discussed this. So consider integer variable holding the value of this, and so same things we can write like this, least significant. Okay, and suppose the available memory location is 128, and which of the following little endian. Okay, so this will be stored at the last value will be stored at the smallest memory location. So the first memory location will be 128, and 99 is there, and then 98, then 20, and then 89. Okay, address is incrementing like this. So 1 to a, 1 to, okay, after 129, so this become 1 to a and 1 to b. Yeah, so I think first option is looking correct because the address is assigned to the correct place. So the least significant value should be stored at the smallest memory location according to little endian. So this other are the remaining option. And which of the following? Okay, this is about the array. So I think we can discuss from this from the next week 7 content. So this is all about the week 3 to week 6. We have discussed. If you have any query in this, you can ask.
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, actually, I have a doubt regarding end term exam. Can I ask?
Mm-hmm.
Sir, actually, which type of question will ask in end term like GRPA या फिर
Which
GRPA
type
या
of
फिर
question?
grade programming assignment या फिर programming assignment like
Similar type. So this mock is also a one previous term actually paper, intern paper. Similar
sir
type of
means
question will ask.
sir means GPA मतलब grade programming and programming assignment like that.
No programming question. Okay, so questions will be only MCQ, MSQ, or numerical input. Okay, no programming
Okay.
writing question. You have already given two programming exam,
Yes, sir, yes,
and now
obviously.
you are going to give the exam for like it's a quiz one exam which you have already given, quiz one or qualifier.
Okay, sir. So one more thing.
Hmm.
Sir, sir, which week has more weightage on that?
No, here we have approx equal weightage from week 3 to week 11 for
Uh,
enter.
s- Sir, I heard some student. They told me week 9 to week 12 has more weightage in end term exam.
So have you given week 5 to week 8 in any exam for C?
Week 5, sir, Qs 2.
You have given the quiz 2 for C programming?
Oh, no, no, sir. No, sir. C programming not.
No, no.
No,
Because
sir.
of that syllabus we have taken from week 3. Okay, so week
Oh,
3
yes,
to week
sir.
11.
Oh, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. I understand.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Any other query?
So when we will see the results of OPP2?
I think they are ready to release. So maybe in next 1 2 days they will release all scores.
So I
Okay,
had
so
a doubt
this
in
week, I think this week all score will be released. So
okay.
with the other OPP also. Yeah, what you have doubt?
I have a doubt in the last question of the OPP2.
Hmm. What was the question? File handling.
Yeah.
Okay, what was your doubt?
So I was trying to access the file, and
Hmm.
the marks and the
Hmm.
roll number, they were switched out.
Hmm.
I mean, in the input it says the roll number will be first, then we'll see the marks. But when I was trying to run the program, I was getting the output reversed. So
You are saying that input file format was not in the correct order,
yeah,
right?
yeah, basically that.
But that was given in the sample, no? I think sample you can clarify this. In the question itself, we generally give the sample input and output for the file.
Yeah, in the
And also
sample,
public test case, you can see the input.
yeah, in the sample it said the roll number will be first, then the
Also just
marks.
consider the sample, and that is the final one.
Okay.
Okay, because sample input and public test case can be, you can easily validate that what type of input is.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so you have done this correctly or not?
Yeah, I did the question correctly, but I
Hmm.
I was just confused in that. Like maybe there was
Okay,
some
so
mistake.
maybe question statement, yeah, maybe that mistake is there, but
Yeah.
yeah, that can be easily validated in the with the test cases.
And
Okay,
also for some reason I was getting the wrong answer.
for same question.
Yeah, even though I wrote the program right, I tried it after the end. I tried it after the OPP2 on my VS Code,
Hmm.
and it was giving me the correct answer, but on the portal it was wrong. I don't know why.
So you did not submit the correct answer finally for this.
I did. I used a trick to submit it, but I didn't do it correctly because in the final answer I just subtracted one because I
Oh,
was getting one extra value.
oh,
So I just subtracted one from it, and all my public test case passed. So I was
okay.
happy with it. So I don't know.
So that question was related to the, I think, marks, maximum marks student ID,
Yes,
like this,
yes,
no?
yes,
So that we are only simply asking the student ID, the last student ID, correct?
yeah, yeah.
So
So
what you are getting a different ID? Like,
so what was I getting was like if the output was roll number 9, so I was getting the output 10. If it was 8, I was getting 9. If it was 7, I was getting 8, right? So one value extra than the real value.
okay, but
So I just subtracted one from the real output. So I got all the public test case passed. Yeah, but
hmm,
I
okay, but I'm not sure.
yeah.
Maybe some input format different, or I'm not sure. We can
No,
only
I tried
validate
the
by
same
looking
code
your
in the
code.
VS code
So what you
after
can
the
do,
exam.
you can write a mail to me with your code. Okay, so I'll
Yeah.
validate
Okay.
in our
Okay.
code.
Thanks.
Okay, so I hope you have my ID.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
So just write your solution code. I'll just check in our code with the solution. Okay,
Okay.
so maybe some difference is there, or any
Yeah.
setup different is there maybe.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any other query? Okay, then no query. Then we will conduct the next revision session on Friday. So what the next remaining part, week 7 to 9, I think. So just prepare for that and ask your doubt in that session. Okay. Okay. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.